Alhamdulillah wahda, wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da, amma ba'd. We have been looking at the text by Hafiz ibn Rajab al-Hanbali, rahmatullahi alayhi. The book is titled Fadlul Ilmi Salafi, Fadlu Ilmi Salafi ala Ilmi al-Khalaf. The virtues of the Salaf over the Khalaf with regards to the knowledge. Salaf being the first three generations, Khalaf after that. So we were looking at how Imam Ibn Rajab rahmatullahi alayhi has described the knowledge being beneficial or non-beneficial, and hence the idea of keep checking the intention and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a beneficial knowledge. Imam Sa'ad said, وَخَرَجَ Abu Dawud, rahmatullahi alayhi. Abu Dawud is Imam Abu Dawud al-Sijistani. He has a book which is included in Sahih Sittah, as we know. So he said that Imam Abu Dawud extracted or brought this hadith min hadith Buraidah, from the hadith of Buraidah al-Aslami, the companion, and in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he narrates it with his chain to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Obviously, he must have heard it directly. So he said, قال إن من البيان سحرا. Indeed, in the statements, there is magic. Means some statements are magical. And in some books, they say la sihra. But if you look at number 3 Hashia, it says وفي المطبوع la sihra وهو خطأ. So they say la sihra is a mistake. It should be sihran. And then وإن من العلم جهلا. And some of the ilm has ignorance in it. The hadith is da'if, but obviously the meaning is sound, implying that information is one thing, understanding is a different thing. You may get some knowledge by reading up something, Googling it, hearing it from someone non-qualified. That may be a piece of information, but it's not going to be beneficial. Perhaps it may actually be a jahl. And there are many examples of that we've seen in the last decades, like 2-3 decades really, when the scholars started leaving the world and the ignoramuses are taking their position, as foretold by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a sound hadith, whereby he said, Inna Allah la yaqbidu al-ilma intiza'an. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not take the knowledge away in a sudden manner. وَلَكِنْ يَقْبِضُهُ بِقَبْضِ الْعُلَمَاء. So he would not snatch it out of the minds of people. Rather, he would take the knowledge, coming to the close of time, end of time, by taking the lives of his scholars. And we see that. So when they mention something of knowledge, the people who are not qualified, and it feels like quite appealing thing to us, but actually there is jahl in it. So وَإِنَّ صَعَصَعْتَ ibn Sawhan, this is someone who explained the hadith. He explained this. Sa'sa explained it how? إِنَّ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ جَهْلًا. So he's saying that some of the ilm is actually jahl. Is how did he explain? By أن يتكلف العالم, that the alim إلى علمه ما لم يعلم فيجهله ذلك, or أن يتكلف العالم. So the alim, the scholar, he actually would make himself go in, in his keenness to learn something, and he would end up causing more trouble. So he would put himself in a position where he does not know, and he didn't start making mistakes. It's very likely that he was not supposed to know that. So he didn't know something, and yet he pretended, or he took it as, okay, let me try. And it was not for him to know, and he didn't know it. So just going beyond his ability. So for example, a non-mufti started giving fatwa. Someone who is not master in hadith, and yet he is a scholar, but not to the mastery level. It is not his specialty. So he will start talking about that, would make mistakes. He should just keep it himself to the level that he has been given ijazah to. So if you've been given ijazah to do this much, he should just stay there. So he make himself access the knowledge of something which is he's not actually able to, beyond he's got too much to tackle. He's not going to be benefiting himself or anyone else. And he also, Imam Sa'sa also, he explained this, he did the tafsir by saying, وَيُفَسِّرُ أَيْضًا بِأَنَّ الْعِلْمَ الَّذِي يَضُرُّ وَلَا يَنْفَعُ جهل. So he said that the knowledge which harms and does not, the knowledge which harms and does not benefit, بأن العلم الذي, the ilm which does not, which harms, يضر ولا ينفع, and does not benefit, لأن الجهل به خير من العلم به. So the ilm which harms and does not benefit is jahlun, is ignorance. Because if the ilm doesn't benefit, it is not beneficial at all. So not knowing that ilm would have been better than knowing it. Something that does not benefit, benefit us. For example, learning about sorcery. It's going to be harmful, but even if it's not harmful, just knowing it, why you wasted your time? It would have been better if you were jahil of that. There's certain things that we shouldn't know. فَإِذَا كَانَ الْجَهْلُ بِي خَيْرًا مِنْهُ فَهُوَ شَرٌّ مِنَ الْجَهْلِ. So they say, if not knowing something is better than knowing it, then it means that the jahl, the ignorance of that ilm, is better than the knowledge itself. So that is what it means, that some of the ilm is ignorance. Some of the knowledge is actually ignorance, because it's actually worse than ignorance. You shouldn't have known that, because you might be accountable for that. وَهَذَا كَالسِّحْرِ, like magic. وغيره, similar to that. من العلوم المضرة, the harmful knowledge in deen, في الدين أو في الدنيا, or in the material world. So anything which is not going to benefit, we shouldn't be wasting our time in. A friend of mine, mashallah, from medical school, he contacted me some years ago, 10 years or so ago. He said that he's working to find out where is Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Where are they based at this point in time, geographically? So he said that I've done some research on that, and I want you to have a look at that and just see how you find it. I said, hang on, why did you do that? What's the significance? What's the point? And he said, yeah, I just wanted to know. But why? What difference would it make? Are you going to go and sort them out? Would that be a definite point that you would have identified, or would it be just your assessment, your analysis that could be right or wrong? That is your judgment. There's no definitiveness there. So why waste your time of weeks and weeks of researching, Googling, going through things? So even if you know precisely where they are based, what would you do with that? This is not benefit, it's not needed. So that is why the scholars say, أفضل العلم علم الحال. The best of the knowledge is the knowledge of the time. At this time, what am I supposed to do? What is required of me? I as father must be doing this. I as son must be doing this. I as mother is responsible for this action at this point. So I'm not married yet, I'm thinking about all the problems afterwards. Not be as beneficial as the one that I need to do now. I'm not a businessman, but I'm planning to be a businessman in 20 years time or 10 years time, and I'm thinking about and studying about business, going through and Googling everything about it. It's a waste of time. You do it when you're about to do it. You have planned to perform Hajj, say in 10 years time, you're not quite there yet, but you started studying thoroughly about every single detail of Hajj, all the nuanced discussion, all the differences of opinion. But why you need this now? Because that time you could have utilized in something more beneficial. So أفضل العلم علم الحال, knowledge of the time at this point. For example, if it's Fajr prayer time and I'm doing this discussion and wasting my time, then I'm actually wasting my time if I miss my prayer, which is more important at this point. That's not the case. I'm just saying as an example. I've just done my dhuhr in UK, alhamdulillah. So أفضل العلم. So your children are in need of you for some they're very unwell, and you're doing some dhikr or reciting Quran at this point. You could have done that at different time. They're all important works, but knowledge of the time. What should be my priority at this time? وأفضل العمل حفظ الحال. And the best action is seizing that opportunity. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وقد روي عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم تفسير بعض العلوم التي لا تنفع. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually mentioned some of the harmful or non-beneficial knowledges. So in Marasil Abi Dawud, this is another book of Imam Abu Dawud rahmatullahi alayh, other than his Sunan. Sunan Abi Dawud, that's a different book, the Sahih Sitta one. But this is Marasil, it's a slightly different collection that he has called his Marasil. Marasil is plural of Mursal. Hadith. A Mursal is a hadith where you just narrate the hadith all the way back to a Sahabi without mentioning Sahabi, just from there to straight on to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you do not know one or two, chains in between. Actually, one normally. We'll cover that inshallah ta'ala in our usul al-fiqh discussion and usul al-hadith discussion. Anyway, so this is a collection that he has, his Mursal, Hadith Mursal. And Zayd ibn Aslam, from Zayd ibn Aslam, he said, قِيلَ يَا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ, O Messenger of Allah, مَا أَعْلَمُ فُلَانًا, I don't know him. قَالَ بِمَا, with what? Like, what is there that you don't know him? قَالُوا بِأَنْسَابِ النَّاسِ. He said, with regards to people's nasab. So ma a'lamu fulanan. Oh, so it could be that what a fantastic knowledgeable he is. Yeah, it's not question. Sorry, I translated it wrong. You said ma a'lamu fulanan. This is sighat al-ta'ajjub. This is a exclamation mark, not a question mark. So he said, Ya Rasulullah, someone said to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, oh Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ma a'lamu fulanan. So and so is, what a knowledgeable person is he. He is very knowledgeable. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, bima, of what? So they said, bi ansab nas, about the lineage of people. Qal Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ilmun la yanfa', the knowledge that does not benefit. Wa jihalatun la tadur, and not knowing that doesn't harm. I mean, if you don't know lineage of other people's family tree or whatnot, it doesn't, knowledge of that does not benefit you, and not knowing that does not harm you. Yes, you need to know your own lineage, that's important, but not other people's lineage. وخرجه أبو نعيم في كتاب رياضة المتعلمين. Abu Nu'aym al-Asfahani, possibly, he brought this hadith. Riyadul Muta'allimin, Riyadatul Muta'allimin, students exercise or practice their riyada. In hadith Baqiyya, the hadith of this companion, and Ibn Jurayd and Ata and Abi Huraira. So this is one of the Rawi. he narrates from Jurayd, who from Ata, and who from Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala marfu'an, relating it all the way to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وفيه, and in this he said, أنه قال, they said, أعلم الناس بأنساب العرب, the most knowledgeable with regards to the lineage of Arab, the genealogy. وأعلم الناس بالشعر, the most knowledgeable with regards to the poetry. وبما اختلفت فيه العرب وزاد فيه في آخره. So some words are like this, and whatever the Arabs differed on, he is more knowledgeable of. He will just clarify وزاد في آخره. And at the end of this hadith, he said, العلم ثلاثة ما خلاهن فهو فضل آية محكمة أو سنة قائمة أو فريضة عادلة. That there are three ilm. Ilm are only three. Whatever is other than these three is fadl, is superfluous, is extra. It is like, additional. But these three are the most important thing. That's fudul. They're like, not needed. Most important knowledge, or the actual knowledge, are these three. Ayatul muhkama, knowing the categorical ayat of Quran, very clear ayat of Quran. Or sunnatun qa'ima, and established sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And faridatun adila, and knowing the rights. And there are two meanings to faridah. Faridah could also mean the knowledge of inheritance, and also faridatun adila, knowing about the faraid. And this hadith has some weakness. Is Baqi bin al-Walid, actually, yeah, that's the Imam. And they used to do tadlis. So هذا الإسناد لا يصح. It's not sahih. وبقية, the narrator, دلسه عن غير ثقة. So he would do tadlis from the غير ثقة. Tadlis is when the narrator skipped his, teacher or master, the one he got it from, his sheikh, and mentions someone else to give the impression that my hadith is actually strong. So these are the people who do tadlis. Some do knowingly, some do unknowingly, some do with bad people, some do with good people as well. So there's a difference. And when we cover usul al-hadith, you would know when is tadlis okay, when it is not okay. Generally, it is not okay because you're causing doubts in people's mind. You are skipping someone. You're not telling the whole truth, actually. Okay, let's leave it there, inshallah ta'ala. We cover up to here and take it from there, inshallah.